Yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to Blue Diaries, episode 27. As you can see, we're joined today by man like Couch. You got Ads, you got Jem. You know, Andrew's going to be joining us as well, people. And AJ should be here shortly as well. Sorry for the lateness. We just had a few things that we're sorting out in the background. But once again, it's feeling like deja vu, man. Once again, I'm back. You know, we're all back here after being shat on by these Seagulls. Embarrassing performance. You know, I honestly didn't think we could get any worse from what we saw last week, right? I mean 2 weeks ago now. You know what I'm saying? I thought Maresca would have learned something new. You know what I mean? But he decided to do the exact same thing. Lack of overlapping fullbacks, congesting the midfield, allowing Brighton to just soak up pressure, do us on a quick break, and sit back because they know we can't break them down. Especially now we've got no striker. It's problems for us. You know what I mean? But Couch, bro, first of all, how are you, man? It's been a minute. The chat have been missing you, bro. How are you?
Yo, I don't know what they're missing, but I'll tell you what, it's been a go. It's good to see you guys again, though. And yeah, smash up the likes. Let's get them moving.
100%, man. Ads, what you say, man? How's your arm? I haven't asked you this.
Yeah, the shoulder's getting better. I'm not in a sling anymore, so mobility is coming back bit by bit. But yeah, that's getting better. But Chelsea are getting worse, bro. It's peak, man.
No, we are, bro. And Jem, it's been a minute since we've seen you as well. This guy's Dubai living right now. You just came back to England. You were there at the West Ham game as well, weren't it?
No.
When you there?
No.
Well, you didn't go.
No, I didn't go. No, I didn't go. No. I didn't go. I just last minute I couldn't go, so yeah, that all fumbled. But a bit like Chelsea at the moment, it just fumbling completely. You know, plans not happening. You know, decision makings and all of that. You know, so yeah, we're in the trenches right now, man. We're just in the good, man. I'm good.
100%, Andrew, man. Love for joining, my bro, man. How are you?
Yeah, sorry, man. I don't know what happened. I was gonna start a protest out of nowhere, like this fan base. If I didn't get on the screen,
Is there a protest today or something like that? Did I miss something?
Is there a protest today?
No, it's
Southampton on the 25th.
next Tuesday.
Oh.
Next Tuesday.
Who's going tonight? Are you man going?
Yeah, I'm flying over, man. I'm flying over for it, man. I can't wait.
I love Todd Bowley and Egg Bailey, man. They're my best mates.
Patch out, man. Patch out.
Yeah, man. Listen,
All good, man.
It's problems right now, people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been so busy with work today, so I didn't even have a chance to show screenshots and that. I'll try and get as much as we can whilst we're live right now. But there's not really much to screenshot because we know how the game went the other day. We know how we witnessed us have 0 shots on goal. You know, once again, we're seeing Sancho getting locked up. Once again, we're seeing Neto having an absolute stinkfest. In this game, we're seeing Caicedo fighting for his life again. You know, you've seen the backline, Chalobah making mistakes, Cole making mistakes, Jorgensen making mistakes, Maresca making mistakes. We're playing people out of position because we've got injuries right now. I just feel like I'm repeating myself. You know, that's why I'm really interested to see what Couch and Jem have got to say because they haven't been here for a second. You know, but Couch, bro, first of all, with you, how are you feeling right now about this situation? Because you're someone who's quite, you know, level-headed. You don't really lose your head when it comes to these sort of things. You look at the bigger picture in terms of the young players, and you know, even backstage, you was talking about the fact that we've had injuries again. So you do look at the bigger picture a lot of the time, bro. But how are you feeling about this situation right now? And going forward, what does Maresca need to do? Because we're stuck in a rut, bro. We're actually stuck in a rut right now.
Yeah, no, there's no denying that. There's a large degree of rut into this club right now. Like we haven't really been able to work out the issues, you know. And for me, the issues come down to just staying healthy first, right? Like I don't think that we have a depth of squad capable of coping with the injuries that we've had to keep people. Like I'm talking about Fofana. I mentioned to you guys before. I think Fofana was so important to our defensive setup. You know, Lavia. You know, as much as you know, we have 2 midfielders that are very, very good in Caicedo and Enzo. The things that you get from Lavia is just so evident. You're missing it. So, and we don't have a like-for-like substitution for any of those guys. You know, those 2 pieces, right, for me. And then you couple that with the the strikers that are out of form right now. When you look at like Jackson that's injured, Giyu injured, Nkunku, who I might have to take a mulligan on, just based on him not being able to really score. But you're laughing though. But like at the same time, I still think that he's a quality striker. The problem I think that we're having right now is we haven't developed a system around him, right? Like we're basically just throwing him up there and expecting him to play the exact same way Jackson plays, and that's a problem with Maresca right now. And we're talking about like experience, or lack thereof within the playing staff, but I can also say the experience within the manager is starting to show now, because he's unable to coax good performances out of this team. He's unable to change the way we play to suit the opponents. He's unable to impact games, from, when things aren't going our way. Like there's been so few games that we've had so far this season where, we come back out in the second half and, with a different way of playing that has impacted the way that we want to play. And for me, like, you have no choice now. We have no strikers. You have Nkunku, who can probably play there in a pinch. You have to devise a setup, a system that is conducive to getting him in opportunities to score. And it's evident to me that what we see from our wingers, they don't really play well with Nkunku. Like there's been times, like even against the Brighton game, where he's basically hanging off the shoulders of the last defenders. All they need to do is play it into space for him to run into it. If he doesn't get there, he's at least good at drawing a foul. Maybe it's a penalty here. Very good at that stuff. He's very tricky, uses his body quite well. None of those passes are coming to him. And then people are like, well, he's just useless up top. I'm like, yeah, he's useless up top because we're not utilizing him. We're not playing to his strengths. And for me, that's the biggest fallacy in this system right now. Like, we're not playing to the strengths of the players that we have on the pitch.
So when it comes to that, then how would you set up then, Couch? What do you need your wingers doing, right, when they're playing with Nkunku? What would you do right now, bro? Because like the title says, for me, we're in serious trouble without a striker. I saw this last season when Jackson went to AFCON, right? That was the only time really when Jackson started to get appreciated from the fan base. Because remember the start of the season last year, bro, when he kept missing, he was getting chefed up. He was getting cooked. And then when we missed him for the month, and it was Palmer up top, it was Broja up top, that was when people were like, do you know what? This guy actually brings something to the team. And funny enough, his form picked up when he came back as well. We went to Middlesbrough away. We had Palmer playing as a 9. We lost that game. Shocking performance, right? Gallagher behind him in the 10. Yeah. So I've seen enough performances from this team, especially where they're young and we've got an inexperienced manager, to know that we don't play well without a striker. But what would you do right now, bro? How would you problem solve to try and...
Well, I think that what we have to do is get our most talented ball carriers on the ball. The guys in the final third that can actually... like the guys like Cole Palmer, he shouldn't be getting like 30, 40 touches a game. He should get in 50, 60. Same you can say about Enzo. Nkunku needs to touch the ball multiple times to get him in the game. Now, I'm not talking about 30 touches either. I feels like right now what we're doing is we're isolating the wingers, trying to get 1v1 opportunities out there and looking for crosses and cutbacks. And that's just not good enough. Our strength is in the middle area of the pitch. We have to utilize that area of the pitch more effectively and get the guys, our most talented ball carriers, on the ball more than we have been the last little while. It's just too much ISO and cutbacks, ISOs and crosses. And I don't think that fits with what Nkunku wants to do. If you see him as a 9.5, like I do, he needs to be getting touches on the ball. And the only way you can do that is by playing it through the middle. It's just not going there enough for me.
No, I hear it, bro. You make some good points, man. And Jem, you're one that's been kind of, cooking Maresca. Literally, Jem in the group chat was like, yo, listen, man, I need to hop on for 45 minutes to cook this guy, bro. Yeah. And as long as I've known Jem, he's someone that, bro, he knows his stuff, innit? And he knows what he likes from managers. And as soon as the manager starts to show him up, he's going to be onto them. You know what I'm saying? Because he was giving Maresca praise at the start of the season. But right now, bro, I've been cooking him myself. And this is a guy that I told you, I think would do well with the squad that he's got. But unfortunately, once again, like Poch, I feel like he's not really using the squad to the best ability that he can be. How are you feeling about the situation right now, Jem?
Like that. That's why I watch Chelsea all the time. That's what it feels like. You know what the other big thing is as well? And obviously, Couch alluded to a lot of the things I was going to say, to be quite honest with you. But tempo's been a big problem for me in how we play recently. I have never seen us play so slow and predictable. Actually, I have in the past. We've done it in a couple of seasons other than this. But one of the good things about a good Maresca system is tempo. is that the fact that we move the ball quickly, we all know where each other are in positions, we play the balls quickly, and then we counter and we move forward together quickly as a team. We get up the pitch quicker. All I've seen us do in recent games is just move the ball sideways, backwards, sideways, stop, and when there is a chance to play a ball over the top, we don't do it, like Couch said, because for whatever reasons they don't want to pass to Nkunku. It feels like, especially watching that last game, because every time Nkunku tried to even make a little cut back and running, because Brighton were playing high lines, by the way, they played high lines in both games.
If you guys remember the first like 15 minutes, we were trying to play over the top, right? The first 15 minutes of the game, and was actually attacking all right. The game changed for me when Noni came off. When Noni came off, that was the big change, bro.
It worked because we had Noni being so direct. And I'll be honest with you, the first 15 minutes, Noni was giving them a lot of problems. He was getting in every time and cutting the ball back. We know Palmer, who we're going to obviously talk about probably a bit later, was criminal in that game because he had 2 very good chances outside the box. One of the decision makings that he made was poor because he could have played it to Neto and he decides to shoot outside the box when Neto would have just been in. And it's just... The thing for me is that we're not playing well. We're all players are in bad form. We're overplaying our midfield because we don't have the options to switch our midfield. We've got injuries on the wings now. We haven't got a striker like we said already. So Maresca just wants to continue doing what he has been doing, which is playing the same system and the same style. But the truth is, what he needs to do now, after 9, 10, 11 games, is adapt with what he currently has in his squad and try and get the best out of what he has. And listen, it might just be instruction, but I also think it might need to now watching us play for this period where we are literally in the mud, in the trenches. I'm actually thinking, do we need to just change the formation? Because we don't look solid, guys. We are so easy to play through. It's ridiculous. I feel sorry for Caicedo. I do. And he looks really bad at the moment because he can't cover, he's trying to get around and he can't do it. Enzo's up the other end.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't think it's like we're getting played through as much as we're getting played. They're just bypassing the midfield and going right into that defense.
But then, you're playing Enzo further forward, as we have seen when it has worked very well, but we're not giving him enough of the ball. I watched him against Brighton. He was hardly involved. We didn't even, and when we did get him involved, guess what he did? He knocked one ball over to Nkunku, who nearly got it, by the way. It was a good header by the defender just to get it out, And we're not playing to our strengths, and that's without our defence. But if we ain't solid from the back, we can't keep playing with this system. And guess what? We ain't solid from the back at the moment. So maybe we need to change something. If that means we have to go to 3 at the back and play 2 pivot midfielders sitting in front of them and have wingers and play Nkunku and Palmer closer together so that they can try and do something together up there with their technical abilities, maybe make runs in behind together to try and stretch the centre-back, then do it. But what you shouldn't do is just sit there, like he has done, through games and just let them fathom out and do like-for-like changes and just show us nothing. Because that's a problem to me. The best managers problem solve. He's inexperienced and he's showing it right now. Pott's done the same thing, but he didn't get away with it because he was experienced. So at the end of the day, the question marks arise on Maresca. Can he do something with what he's got right now? Yes, he's got injuries, but he needs to make it work. And that's the thing for me. Make it work,
The thing is, for me, Jem, I hear what you're saying, right? And for me, I wouldn't even change the formation too much. I would just change the instructions of the fullbacks. The main thing for me is overlapping those fullbacks to give the wingers more support on that side. Because right now, the problem that Maresca's got, is he's putting too much trust in wingers that aren't performing for him. And that's going to be his downfall. Because these guys that you're trusting to get on the ball, because, bro, in this system, Sancho and that, they get on the ball a lot, right? But what do they do with it? Sancho on the left, for me, needs to get changed to the right now, When he was playing for Dortmund, I've always preferred this guy on the right because he's on his stronger foot. And if you guys remember that game when he played against what was that team we played? Germany. We played that German team. Even in Champions League, bro, when he chefed up what's his name? Nuno Mendes. He played on the right that game. He played on the right that game. And when he played for us, when he cut back to Mudryk, and Mudryk scored that banger, top bins, he was on
Heidenheim, I think is
Heidenheim, bro. Against Morecambe when he came on, this guy looked quality on the right. On the left, he cuts in too much. He closes down that space. Because before Sancho came on the pitch, when you had Neto and Madueke, as much as I hate Neto on the left, they were stretching the pitch a lot more than Sancho. When Sancho came on, I said, this attack is going to be problems.
That's because they're direct. Maresca, Noni Madueke and Neto are direct touchline wingers. The issue is we keep playing touchline wingers with no striker. Nkunku is not Jackson. He needs the people closer to him, linking
Yeah.
with him, 1-2s, not all the way out here and whip the ball in when he's on his own with Palmer in the box. What are we doing?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I literally just said this to Rants, bro. You know, on FIFA, when you're playing FIFA, the hardest mode you can go in is like Ultimate Edition, yeah, to play the difficulty, bro. Right now, he's playing on Ultimate Edition, yeah. It's time to go down to semi-pro, bruv. Yeah, go down to semi-pro by playing with these fullbacks to help the team. These guys are still young and they're not performing right now. It'll be different if Neto was confident right now, banging in goals, getting assists. Sancho was cooking. You can let them do their thing. But bro, they need help, ads. You know what I'm saying? These men need help, bro, because these wingers right now, they keep letting us down week after week. And I'm honestly, we're just having the same conversation, ads. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%. And that's why for me, it's hard to even do like a review of the game because it's some of the same crap that we've been seeing and we've been served up for weeks, months. For me, our last good performance was, our last good half of a performance was Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth for me was the killer of the season for me because it was on a run of obviously, I think 1 win in 7 games. And that was bad. That was a really bad run of form, right? Results wise. But for me, in all those games, bar Everton, where even that game, Jackson missed 2 really good chances in the first half. And obviously after that, we didn't create much. But for the rest of those games, we always started well. We always were on top first half and we were normally 1 goal up, but we just didn't kill the game. And teams will come back in and either get a draw or just beat us in the second half. And that was due to players getting tired. Obviously, we had injuries and Maresca's lack of in-game management and obviously utilization of the bench. Well, Bournemouth was the extra killer because that first half, again, between the boxes, for me, that was like a 9.5 performance. We were absolutely excellent. And Labia was a big part of that, breaking down plays in the midfield. We were dominant, we were overrunning them, and we were creating so many chances. And I mean, they only had 1 shot, which came from a Sanchez blunder, as per usual. But I only bring that up just to say that even at our best, we didn't win games. And if you go on a stretch of 7 or 8 games, and you only win 1, and in my opinion, you're playing well, how can I then expect us to be playing badly and still win games? Of course, we're not going to win games. And that's why, for me, it was a luxury that we beat the likes of Wolves and West Ham playing awful football. And that's why, for me, after Wolves, I said, guys, it's going to get worse before it gets anywhere near better. I'm telling you. And we followed that up by getting spliffed by the worst Man City team I've seen in years. In years, we let them spliff us. And then all the other games that have happened since then. And then following up by getting slapped up twice by Brighton. I mean, it's embarrassing, bro. And
yeah,
again, it's tough. It's tough.
I want to ask you a question on that because that's an interesting take, and I agree with most of it. But what is the problem then? Like, why can't we get out of these ruts? Like, I think it has a lot to do with this experience and leadership, to be honest.
Yeah,
and just not have and lack thereof. Like, you can't have a team of just like 21-year-olds and expect them to know how to navigate games like that, right? Especially when you're in a tough situation, right? And I feel like I don't care, like at the board, directors, whatever, they have to address this now. Like these guys have no
they missed the
of
opportunity
how to deal
to
with
address
it, right?
it. Yeah,
When
but
was
they missed
that
the opportunity to address it.
When was the
opportunity to like at least stop the bleeding was January, but they didn't address it. And again, it's a great question that you asked, even though you answered it as well, because you literally took what I was going to say, which is, again, there's always multiple reasons, but for me, the main reason is just the lack of experience and proven quality at this level. It's not that these guys aren't good. Again, a lot of these players that I rate, there's maybe one I'm going to have to say that, you know what, he might actually be a dud, but we'll get to him later. But for the most part, these are good players.
I feel I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, but we'll get to him later. But listen, for the most part, these are good players. And it's just a shame that they haven't been given the experienced players around them because, again, we've all watched football long enough to know that when we've seen winning teams, they usually have an experienced manager, experienced players, proven guys. And for me, we've tried to rewrite the book of football. We've tried to say, hey, we're going to do it completely different, guys. When they get a manager in his first rookie season of being of managing at a top flight level, we're going to get a whole team of young players that pretty much all have under 100 caps of top flight football before even playing for us. And we're going to just, again, do it with no proper striker, no proper goalkeeper, like no leader in the back. Like, how are we going to win the league or compete for the league doing these kind of things? And listen, for a long time, we were all getting quite happy and impressed. I wouldn't even say we were getting gassed. We were just, because we were all quite level-headed with it. We weren't doing the whole, we're going to win the league and all this stuff, right? Some of us we could like challenge. I thought maybe we can get around 80 points, which would be a very good challenge. How wrong was I? Because my goodness, we've been absolutely just left by the wayside in recent performances. And I mean, it's only going to keep being like this because there isn't the experience to change things around. There isn't this proven goal scorer who's going to get us goals in the 9 position. So it's going to keep getting worse. For me, it's just about looking at what players can actually get through this rough period and maybe make it to the end of the season and still keep their reputation intact. Because there's some guys, I'm being honest, they're looking like they're not good enough to be at this football club. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, now I hear it. We'll definitely get to that, man. And Andrew, how are you feeling right now, bro? Because obviously Ads and Couch make some good points about the lack of leadership in this team, the lack of experience in this team in certain parts, and to be able to navigate different tough situations, bro. For you, do you think it's too far gone to rectify these issues, bro? Or do you think that that's something that once again in the summer, fucking transfer window number 6, after they told us number 4 is what we should really be judging them at, right? Do you think we're too far gone, or do you think that's something that can actually be rectified in the summer, bro?
I don't know. I don't believe in the experience thing because they didn't need experience to get over West Ham and they were 1-0 down. And Maresca changed a lot of things. I mean, I disagree with that. So I think we played very well at the West Ham game. Should have won it by more than 2-1. So they didn't need experience to get over.
We were horrible against West Ham.
We weren't horrible.
After the changes, we were good, man.
We were good, yeah.
We were good after the changes.
But we didn't need experience. I think we need a system change. I don't think this works. Sancho's never been a touchline winger. But I keep saying this day and age player, they're all robots and they'll just follow instructions anyway to the T of the manager. They don't have any minds of their own or any mavericks to do whatever they need to do. But I think we need a system change and go through at the back and the wing backs. And then you can have whatever, because of the options you have, you need to have an option on the bench to come on, but you can have any. So you start with Palmer and Cuckoo and Sancho, but have them closer together because the game against Brighton, I've never seen so much space. And the problem was there was so much space because no one was willing to go towards each other to get the pass off each other or to make a run or anything like that. And that's the problem. First half of the season, they were. For some reason, since the beginning of January, they're not willing to do that. Going into summer, I really couldn't care less what the summer is. Do you know what I mean? They already showed me what the January is. Do you know what I mean? I already know their plans. I already know this transfer window, what their strategy is. It's buy a couple of people you don't know and a couple of names you do know to distract the fans with some keys like you do Cats. Do you know what I mean? Like that. Ooh, Sancho and Neto this summer. We didn't really know. Ooh, look at this. Look at this over here. It'll be the same. It'll be the same in the summer. It'll be one big name, maybe, and oh yeah, we're definitely going to do it. I don't know. I can't really think about the summer. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know what's going to happen this season. You know what I mean? If we get,
I hear it, man. I mean, look, go on,
Champions League football. If we get Champions League football, what's the excuse not to buy big name players now and pay them the wages now? Because all the wages will be going up. So what's the excuse then to not pay the wages of Champions League? Are we going to do that then? This summer?
Well, I think that's you're answering your own question though. Like we're talking about getting these like marquee players. Like, how are you going to bring in the marquee players without Champions League football? Like we lost those days.
We're not. Yeah,
so we don't have it, right?
It'll be Liam.
It's either you damned or you do. You're damned if you don't. Because it's either you bring in those players and you pay them like crazy fees.
Yep.
Or you don't bring them in and you don't get Champions League football, right? So I don't know.
Which is why if you go back to January transfer window, they should have made a few deals to get to Champions League football in the first place, or to make it less doubtful than it is right now. Because I tell you right now, Liam Delap's not going to cut it as the only striker signing next summer. We all know he's coming in, but he's not going to cut it. Do you know what I mean? We need more. And it's not about buying 27, 28-year-olds. You can get 23, 24-year-olds that are very experienced now. Players are starting their careers at a younger age than ever before. Do you know what I mean? So you can get it, but go on.
Now listen, big up CC. I've seen you a couple of times in the chat, bro, going crazy about Maresca. He says, wait a minute, I thought the team Poch had was good enough to finish in the top 4. Why has that bar shifted for Maresca? I think we're all in the same, we're all in agreement here. We all believe that the team's good enough to go and get top 4. But for me right now, bro, I'm very, very, pessimistic. I'm not feeling optimistic about the season going forward because we've literally got no strikers, bro. Right? We've got no strikers up top right now. And I just know how shit this team is without a striker. And like you've been saying, I've been seeing you talking about Maresca cooking him. We're not seeing him, managing this situation well. We're not seeing him trying to problem solve. We're not really seeing him trying different things. Yeah. And big up Lee as well. He says Blue Diaries sounds like some OnlyFans chick spicy content. Donny Blue and that. Hey, big up Lee, man. Big up Lee every single time, man. But Lee's gonna like this comment anyway from Mikel because Lee's all about standards. You know what I'm saying? And Mikel, he came out again on another rant talking about standards, and he says here the pressure should always be on the owners. It's about winning trophies. If you buy Chelsea Football Club and think you're only here to make profit, you can fuck off. The more the fans get frustrated, you never know what could happen. Jim, do you agree with that, bro? Do you think that these guys are mainly here for profit, or do you think they actually want to sort of win things going forward, bro?
I think Mikel has that old guard mentality, you know, the whole what we used to in the past, shall we say, the whole of winning things, and you know, if we don't, and then we bring in players who spend the money and we do it after, you know, and it's a lot. It's a hard one. It's hard because you can't. For me, you can't compare the ball now to the ball back then. You just can't. It's just chalk and cheese in what they're trying to do, and that's just shown in terms of the route that they've taken. You know, the old guard, if you know, with the experience that we already had in the team, if they needed a striker or they needed a winger or they needed something, they would just go and get it if they can. You know, that was the way it was. But these lot, it's more of a let's build the fantasy team for the next 5 years, and by the time it gets to the 5th year, when they're on an 8-year contract, they should hopefully have all the experience in the world, you know. And then when they have all the experience in the world, we're going to be 2 steps ahead of the Liverpools and the Man Uniteds and everyone else, because you know. And in a way, I'll be honest with you, the market has partly changed. When you look at the availability of what's in the market and what's available, there is quality and experience out there. We know there's certain strikers that we've spoken about in the past that we maybe could have gotten that could have done a job. Experience, I get that. But in terms of, I have no issues having young players in the team, by the way. I don't think that's a problem. I think they've just gone a bit too gung-ho on it. If you're going to do it, like Couch says, make sure you have experience in specific areas. Striker, goalkeeper, at least a centre-back that shows leadership qualities, you know, and someone in midfield, which you could probably say could be Caicedo or even maybe Enzo to a degree, you know. But at the end of the day, we don't have a spine, you know. They've failed so much in addressing the striking area for so long that it's become a problem. It's become a problem since the Roman era to now.
It's embarrassing. Honestly, embarrassing.
If you look at the Roman era, the last signing that they ever made was Romelu Lukaku, and we know how that went. That was their last big signing, yeah. So we know how that went after that. So all right, that didn't work, but then we just never addressed it. And so I get what he's saying, and I agree with him. If you look at where the squad's going at the moment, you know, maybe it's time for this summer window that they start looking at the experience and going, hang on, maybe we need to take a little shift in what we're trying to do. Are they going to do that with Win Stanley and the other donut? I don't know. The answer to that, I don't know.
Exactly, bro. And that's what really pisses me off about people as well. I just think I just back these guys and defend everything that Clear Lake do. Bro, there's been many guys that these guys have been trying to bring in. For example, fucking Momorodian, even though he started off the season well. Remember I was saying to you lot in the summer, I don't want this guy, right? Adeyemi links, I didn't want this guy. Garnacho links, I didn't want this guy, right? I've criticized these guys. I've said, me and CB did a fucking stream in the summer. I said there's so many things these guys need to do to rectify their mistakes. I don't want them to be bringing in any more guys like Mudryk and Madueke, where you've got a lot of work to do. I want ready-made talent that can come into the lineup straight away and improve our 11, right? And one of the key areas that we need right now is like what Mikel is saying here, is a striker, bro. You know, he's mentioned a few players here, Victor Osimhen or Victor Gyökeres. We're missing that right now, bro. And even though our defense isn't the best, like it's not the best right now, for me, we're still in a race or even close to the race if we had a striker. Because the amount of chances Jackson's been missing this season, bro, is absolutely criminal. Like Jackson right now is on the worst form that he's been on since he's been at Chelsea, bro. Yeah. I saw a stat earlier that he's missed the most big chances recently, bro. You know what I mean? Imagine if Gyökeres had some of those chances that he had, even with the defense that we've got. We win these games, yeah?
Imagine if Omorodion gets those chances, man. We win those games, man.
Omorodion as well. He's another one as well. Listen, Omorodion as well. If he came in, I'm telling you, Couch, if he came in, like I said at the time when the move was about to happen, I said, bro, people need to stop abusing this guy. If he flops, it's the sporting directors that need to hold smoke. Let's give him a chance. That's literally what I tweeted. It's still out there right now, bro, yeah? I would have been happy with that. I'm more than happy to be proven wrong, right? But for me, the biggest thing right now is goals will change games. And on top of that, they'll give these guys confidence. Because when you see your striker is scoring and finishing, the players around him, they change, bro. The defense start to get a little bit more confident. You know what I'm saying? But when you see Jackson missing up there, you're like, oh, fuck's sake. Oh, fuck's sake. You're just losing confidence over the pitch.
How many times did Diego Costa used to step up in games and score when we needed to go in the last, and win games 1-0 or 2-1? They're they're the difference. They are the massive difference in winning games. Drawing, losing, and winning. Diego Costa done it against West Ham at home. I remember 0-0 for a shitty game, and then he gets the ball, turns the cut outside the box, and bang, bottom corner. We win 1-0 under Conte, if you remember. We haven't got that. You don't have that. Other than if Palmer does it, So.
This is it. This is what I'm saying, bro. So, I mean, how are you feeling? How are you feeling going into the summer, Couch? Do you think that these guys are actually gonna do what needs to be done? Because there's two of them. Yeah, two heads are supposed to be better than one. I honestly don't understand how they're watching what's going on right now, and they keep leaving gaps in the team. It's honestly baffling, bro. It's honestly baffling.
Yeah. I'll say this. Everything's gonna be pending Champions League. If we're gonna get top end talent, you only attract them when you have the full gamut of games, like the high-end games. So that's first. Second, I don't think that these guys have done a bad job, overall. Let's just be real. This team finished, 12th? How are you attracting, top players when you finish in those positions, right? They've identified the right players, and we're unable to sign the right players. We were all talking about Elise. And how close were we to signing him? What difference would he make in this team right now? There's names that have been mentioned that I was cool with and everyone was cool with, but just didn't come to fruition. Is that down to them not being able to get it over the line? Maybe, but I don't think it's because they've done a bad job of identifying the players that we need at the club. That's kind of where I'm sitting right now.
That's an issue in itself, though. That's how many times have we seen Charlie have to come and get the deal? You know what I mean? Even looking at the Caicedo thing, bro, we could have got Caicedo for less than 115 million. They're dilly-dally and trying to negotiate with a guy that's not budging. Liverpool come in because Zompas, and then now you're having to pay over the odds. And fucking Igbali had to come in and get that wrapped up. Same sort of thing happened with Enzo Fernandez. He's having to come in and get that wrapped up. Olise, he actually was going to come to Chelsea. Then these lot snitched on us. They were trying to snitch on us. A year later, we don't make Champions League football. Bayern Munich are now involved. He picks them over us, more money and Champions League football, right? So these things happen. But end of the day, Couch, they have to negotiate better as well, bro. They have to negotiate.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But again, you're negotiating against a team that is nobody really knows what the true potential is. We finished 12th, we finished 6th. You know what I mean? There's no Champions League football. We're not playing the top dollars anymore. Let's be real. It's not don't get it twisted, guys. I'm not happy with some of the signings. There's definitely some holes in what they've done, but I think that they've identified the right names consistently. It's just whether or not we can get those names over the line. And for me, they haven't done a good job of that, but I think that there's mitigating factors involved with getting those names over the line.
How do you feel about that?
That's the thing, right?
Do you think they've done a good job, bro?
No, but I do get where Couch is coming from. But it's one thing identifying some of the top names. That's all well and good. If you can get some of them, great. If you can't get some, I understand it, right? Because at least he might just find Bayern more attractive than us, especially if we're not going to offer the money that he wants. That being said, cool. If we can't get all the top names over that turn, Elise, Osimhen, if we want to say he's a top name, same with Gyökeres, cool. But that doesn't mean you can't identify and then get the right names in the other positions that we are in dire need. Again, we were in dire need of a goalkeeper. No one said, we need to get Maignan, Oblak, and set up any other big name here. You could have got anybody you identified as a guaranteed number one goalkeeper to start. Because anybody with two eyes should have seen that Sanchez isn't good enough to start for our football club. So simple as that. You could have identified somebody there and done that. They didn't do that. You could have identified anybody to be striker. So I say that again, Don.
I said Petrovic bench disposal, bro.
Exactly. So you've seen him get benched already by somebody else, and then now you buy another goalkeeper just to be back up to him. That's why for me it was already an L. That signing was already an L. I saw Jorgensen play.
He's been benched
again.
again.
Jorgensen, to be fair, I'm not going to crash it on him. I'm not going to make too many quick judgments, but he wasn't great against Brighton. First goal, we could have done better. Second goal, the way he got skanked by Minte before he then slotted it in, that was brazy. So, again, the jury's still out on him, but again, he shouldn't even be the guy that we're looking at to be our goalkeeper. But then just back to the point that Couch made, still, again, up front, Samu could have been our striker. And again, we identified him, but we didn't get over the line because we prioritized PSR deals and all this nonsense. But if you're not going to get Samu and you're going to fail to get Osimhen at the end of the window, that's still an L. But then at least rectify your L in January. We didn't do that. And what did we see from Guiu to think like it's okay to leave Guiu as the only backup to Jackson? Where was the logic in that? And by the way, Samu right now has 13 goals in 18 league games. So He's looking all right. We could do with that.
Gil could have done. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is why I can't even cut the sporting directors too much about the Gil thing, right? They probably went into the season looking at it, thinking, okay, we haven't got Osimhen over the line, but at least we've got a similar profile that can actually be a box presence. Let's see if he can actually get the minutes and play. Maresca's not used him at all, bro. Yeah, I was telling you, lot, I kept complaining because yes, sporting directors, bro, these men, they can do a better job, 110%. But bro, it's not on them as to why fucking Maresca doesn't want to fucking play them. Jackson kept missing chances and he's not being punished. He's not getting dropped. All of a sudden, Gil gets a good 45 minutes to show what he can do, and we look a lot better. Neto looks a lot better on that side because he's got a target man, right? You're seeing everyone after that was like, yo, Gil looks good. Let's actually start to play this guy. You know what I'm saying? And then surprise, surprise, we can't have something. We can't have things that are too nice as Chelsea fans. You know,
just to combat that slightly though, but if I may, I hear you on that, but at the same time, it's the sporting director's job to buy the players that actually suits the manager. And then we heard for so long over the summer that, we want to identify the right guys for Maresca. This is the guy that they've been targeting for months. Again, they picked him over McKenna and whoever else was in the race. So if you've got your man,
that's what's happening, by the way. I don't think that's
what's happening, bro.
No, it's not.
But then that's their fault for not buying players that suits the manager, the style of the manager. Even if I'm not saying the manager is the one that's in charge of the transfers. Again, I realize he's a head coach. He's not a manager at all. But it's a sporting director's job to build this squad in an image that can actually make sense for the manager coming in. I get it's the sporting director's job, and they want to build their overall the outlook of the team. They want to shape it in their image, cool, but make it at least work for the manager that's coming in that you've given a 5-year contract to. And also, if you see over the season that he doesn't trust Guiu, then we know that he doesn't trust Guiu. Same way we know that he didn't trust Felix. Get replacements in. You don't weaken our attack in January when we're already down a man because Mudryk took drugs, bro. Like, how are we weakening ourselves going into January? It makes no sense.
But look what Maresca said in the summer, though. I'm going off of his own words, right? When we saw Gil in pre-season, he literally told us, this guy is not going anywhere. We're not loaning this guy. That's what he said, bro, right? If he loaned Gil at the time, yeah, then we'd have had to bring in a replacement. Even if it's someone short-term quickly on a loan or something, we'd have had to do that, yeah? He decided to keep this guy in the squad, but he decided not to fucking use him. Yeah, and for me, it's up to me. Hold on.
If I may just
if I've got the keys to the club right now and I'm making signings, yeah, I'm signing someone like a Gil, but I'm making them third choice. I'm gonna sign someone that's better than Jackson if it's up to me.
Yeah.
But end of the day, they didn't do that. So you got to make use of what you've got. This is what people don't like to hear. You have to make use of what you've got.
I agree. Just my last rebuttal on this is we have enough evidence now to know that Maresca is a liar, bro. This guy lies all the time in his press conferences, bro.
That's a strong word, man. You call him a liar?
He does. And listen, I've seen many managers do this where they waffle in the press conference about one thing and then you don't see it actually play out in their team selection over the next few weeks and months. So it's a fact. It's been proven. And again, if you've got somebody like that, then you have to adjust and you have to adapt. And you have to think on the fly and you have to try your best to save the season because we could see for weeks, months that this was coming. This was coming for a while. And it's not one, there's 2 sporting directors. But for me, again, it was clear that they have too much on their plate. We're trying to be a multi-club model, trying to buy all these players for PSR deals and 8-year contracts, all these things. It was too much. Trying to sort out a shirt sponsor. It's too much for all these guys, right? So I get it. They're not good enough.
We don't even have a shirt sponsor, man. We're talking about champ. We don't even have a shirt sponsor.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's a mess top to bottom.
Not that that's on the sporting directors. Let's just be real. That's more board level.
I think that's to do with the Man City case.
And like keep in mind also, is that what it is? I don't know. But like keep in mind
also. What did you say, Andrew? Say that again. Andrew, speak up. Say that again.
Yeah. What was that?
I think that's to do with more like the Man City stuff. You know what I mean? That we're backing them for all their extra dough they're trying to get out of the Premier League. I think that's why we didn't get a shirt sponsor or something like that.
I love these theories.
I guarantee it. If they win, Paramount Plus is back on our shirts, boys. I'm telling you
right
now.
That'll be nice, though. That'll be nice. Have you looked in the new training kit, by the way, man? The peach one.
Yeah, looks fire.
I grabbed it.
I just want to know, but Don, just going back to, I sort of agree and don't agree with Ads about, but I'm sure Ads would agree that even if you're not buying all the players for the manager, if you're buying 2 creative wingers like Sancho and Neto, buy a proper box striker. Do you know what I mean? Experience box striker.
Let's keep in mind. Let's keep in mind that like we went to the wire with what's his face there, Osimhen at the beginning. That was like the deadline day, dying seconds. I thought they were going to get it over the line for January. To be honest, I thought that was just because we just couldn't.
I just don't. We always. I'm going to kill them with their favorite word, opportunity, right? Because last year we had 2 transfer windows, right? We had the PSR and we had the normal transfer window. So I'm going to Villa, right? They're already going to buy Matson off me, and I know which player should I get? Oh no, they're going to buy him for 35 million. Let's just buy Duran for 40 million. Hadn't signed his new 6-year contract yet. Was sitting there, but because of behaviour issues. What were the behaviour issues? What, he wants to be number 1 and the best? I'll take those behavioural issues right there and then for 40 million. And then what do we buy fucking Amari Kellerman for 19 million? Who? Amari Kellerman. We go to Leicester.
He's AI, bro. He's AI.
We go to Leicester. Ads on your we go to the manager's former club. Let's not get the goalkeeper he played with. We played very well for 40 million. Let's buy KDH for 35 million. Let's just do that. And then this January, hang on, this January transfer window, and all these deals I'm going to say to you, we had no opposition for, right? We knew Badiashile and Fofana were injured before the transfer window, would miss some time. We've got a guy on loan at Palace. We know that Palace's best defender has got 18 months left on his contract. Is never going to sign a new contract. They've already got one of our players. Let's sweeten them and give them another loan and pay the 50 mil for Gerhi and get him in. Oh, no, we will get Chalobah back because that will solve all our defensive problems. I know. Our midfield depth, let's not call back one of the 2 guys or both of them because they would be getting minutes right now. I know. Oh, man, if only we were negotiating with an Italian club who had a midfielder who played in the Premier League, who was allowed on loan, who we were going to give a player to on loan ourselves, like a Douglas Luiz. But no, we couldn't do that. That wasn't an opportunity to do so. And then Osimhen comes in. Galatasaray failed with a bid for Osimhen, and then they go and sign Morata on loan for the rest of the season, obligation to buy. 3 deals there, none opposed whatsoever. And then furthermore, instead of targeting Garnacho for 60 million for 2.5 weeks, Kvaratskhelia pops up for 60.
That would have made me riot by myself. That would have made me
9 million for Kvaratskhelia, who, if he goes on to do what he's going to do, this will be the cheapest he ever is until he hits 34 years old. Oh, but no, because he wanted a bit more money and stuff like that. It's just, they are bozos. And I'll say this, Don, I don't know why we've got 2 of them, because they do half the job and they're twice as shit. Do you know what I mean? At their job right now. Yeah? That's what they are. Why do we need 2 of them? Norwich City don't have 2 sporting directors, so why do we have 2 sporting directors?
Yeah, but
this is a big lie. Hold on. Let me serious about this.
In the room.
This is a big lie as well, Nige. Where have I ever said our midfield was fine, bro? Yeah, our midfield, bro. I've been begging for cover for Caicedo for ages. I was literally saying we need to bring back Leslie because I don't think they're gonna give us Santos. And like I said, Santos has been Strasbourg's best player, and without him, bro, their team just falls off. You know what I mean? So there was 2 options we could have brought back there. Bring back Leslie. You know, he's not really a mainstay in the Southampton midfield. Like, yes, he's been getting more minutes because of the new manager, but
we bought a midfielder. We bought a midfielder for Strasbourg. We set up Strasbourg succession plans in this transfer window. We didn't do it for ourselves. We got their midfielder for next season. We didn't get our midfielder. We didn't bring him back.
I want to see that guy. I'm not gonna lie.
Why don't we just bring our midfielder back and just give them this midfielder on loan? What are we doing it? We have backed. They have backed Strasbourg more than the main club. They have backed the feeder club.
No, but you have to be real though, Andrew. Andrew, you have to be real though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be reactionary and say just bring Santos out because you have to understand these things, bro. Like that Santos, to get him out of there, it would have been a myth for them, bro. And I know, yes, he's our player, but they had another option there in a Leslie who would have been easier to bring back. They brought back none of them. They bring this guy here. I forgot my man's name, the guy that we just signed, yeah?
Amigo.
Yeah.
I think Amigo.
Andrew, did you say Amigo?
Amigo.
I said Amigos, you know.
I think he could do a look at something. I think he could do some energy on the bench. I think he could do a look at something. I don't want to be seeing Dewsbury Hall coming on for Caicedo. I'm trying to play in the pivot, bro. I don't want to see that shit. When I saw that sub the other day against Brian, I was confused, bro. I was fucking confused. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's frustrating because when I'm watching what these guys are doing and some of the decisions that they're making, it's crazy. It's honestly crazy to me. Yeah, but
maybe they play rock paper scissors for players in the room. Him and Winston, they put some names down, they pick them up, and they go rock paper scissors. Oh, no. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But problem is, Jem, they always finish 2 apiece, and then their Barley has to come in and finish the game off. That's what
But this is the thing, yeah. Big up Tower as well. He says, I think all clubs make mistakes in the market, which is a fair point. The question is, do they make more or less mistakes than other clubs in the same period? That's how you assess if they are good enough, you know. And that's a fair enough point, bro. You know,
that's a great point.
You can't compare them to Arsenal or Man United because their periods have been going on for double our times. To be shit, in all fairness, when you look at it,
but the amount of activity we've had the last five windows, we've had more failures than successes. Like whether or not the players come in and been good, like the player's been good.
Yeah, I hear that.
It hasn't really met the evaluation. So like sometimes like Caicedo comes in. Caicedo's not played at 150 million pounds. You know, Enzo, you guys already know how I feel about that, right? You know, all these players that have been playing good for us have not met their valuation. And then you look at some of these other guys, that have just completely flopped. Like, yeah, I mean, we can probably say Mudryk flopped now. We can probably say I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident Badiashiel's a flop. I'm pretty confident Disasi was a flop. I'm pretty we can just go on and on, right? You know, so yeah, like we've identified good names. We brought in some nice players, but for the
we didn't even
even that wasn't even the buy. Like clearly the guy's on loan right now. They weren't trying to buy him. They wanted Samu. They couldn't get Samu because they wanted to keep his image rights. And then they went to Pivot. They basically turned Conor Gallagher into a credit because they bought Yao Felix. He's going to be flipped for something. That's basically what's going to happen. Right?
The ops are outside today, man. The ops are outside. You see one was winning. I wasn't seeing Wissam nowhere, bro. I wasn't seeing Lee. I wasn't seeing Lee Gunnar anywhere, bro. Now we're losing. These men are out here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Wissam, enjoy this title of yours. Enjoy this.
7 years, man. Just have some shame. You know what I mean?
Ain't a Maresca outing, but listen, let me ask you, man, a question. Yeah, obviously, Couch, you listed up a lot of names who were duds at the club right now, and I agree.
More to come.
But this is what I'm asking: Is Pedro Neto joining that list? I have to know. I need to know. I'll be honest. I need to know because I have my doubts, bro.
In one season,
I'm not going to say a dud yet, just because I still think he scored a big goal for us. First of all,
Arsenal.
The Arsenal goal was big, but also the Liverpool. Wasn't the
West Ham?
He scored
West Ham.
Tottenham.
That was the equalizer. No, it was West Ham. Those are his only 2 goals, bro. West Ham and Arsenal.
He didn't score Tottenham?
No.
He scored Tottenham.
I didn't score against Tottenham. No. He scored against Arsenal.
Okay. So for me, Neto, until we can get somebody that can play with him, like his best skill set is non-existent right now in this setup, right? It's just non-existent until we can get a striker that can actually carve out space in the box. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I hear that, right? I hear that, and I agree. And I'm not saying this to the same extent for Sancho, but like again, I feel like for a lot of our wingers, they would benefit more of a striker, right? But with Sancho going into the season, I already knew his limitations and everything. He needs to be a link man and have guys around him. And when that was working earlier in the season, we saw it work pretty well. I think his link-up play in terms of getting us up the pitch can be quite good. It's just final third, being more decisive, being more aggressive. He lacks that, right? But with Neto, like I'm looking at your overall game, man. I get it. You've got a pretty good cross in you, but like in terms of your ability to link up play, your ability to dribble in isolated situations, like it's looking horrible. And listen, I'm a guy who's not afraid to go and call out guys who are just duds and say from early that, you know what, I think Havertz is going to be a bomb. I think Werner is going to be a flop. I'm ready to say that with guys. With Neto, I'm not going to pretend like I didn't rate him in the summer and thought that he would be a good signing for us. I thought, you know what, he's got something in his game and he's electric, he's direct, but again, the lack of actual natural ability that I'm seeing, I'm not going to say he hasn't got a natural ability, but the lack that I'm seeing is very, very concerning. And people are not quick to get on him like they're getting on to Sancho and Noni. Although Noni's out injured again, which is a big problem because we're going to rely on Neto. And is Neto at 52 million going to be able to be a big part of this attack? Is he?
Yeah.
Again, I think we bought the same winger a million times over. Like, we need a goal-scoring winger, right? And as much as Neto's the kind of guy that he's pretty decent on the line and whatnot, okay, he's not giving us exactly what you want right now, but again, we haven't really given him the tools to be as impactful as he can be. But I just think that like the problem again starts with identifying the right players for the right positions, right? We basically bought the same player over and over again. We bought how many number 10s, how many number 7s, how many number 11s that play the exact same way, and you just can't win that way. I don't think we have one goal scoring winger, not one.
No, we don't.
We had one. We had one. But he's on pets.
Whoa. I get it's your channel, but you're not getting away with those ones there. What?
Hey, listen. You see, my man, bro. His shooting this season was actually starting to not go to Rose End. It was starting to fucking be on target at least.
We didn't say how good. Couch didn't say how good is your shooting in training clips. He said goal scoring wingers. But did this guy even get 5 in the Ukrainian league? I don't think he did, bro. Like, what's he doing?
How many goals
did he score? He
scored 5 goals last season, though. He scored 5 goals last season.
I don't care. Let's not talk about it. I want to get into it.
Go on.
Going back to
the Ukrainian league. Wow.
I won't get up the chat, man.
I don't get how we and again, you're going to think I'm just picking on the manager all the time because I do have, and this, trust me, I criticize these players. I do. But why do we not have overlapping fullbacks to help our wingers? Because how many times am I watching my wingers to receive a ball? Yeah, don't get me wrong. 1-on-1 against Lamptey, I expect Neto to be beating Lamptey. However, Lamptey's not a bad defender, is he? He's quick, he's smart, he's got a bit about it. But my point being is the way that we set up, we don't play with overlapping fullbacks, which I think would help some of the wingers and how we play. Because a lot of the times when we play, because we're so focused on playing out the wings and we don't play as central as we like to, they're doubling up on the wing. And when Neto receives the ball, the first thing he's got to do is either try and beat his man, or he's got to go backwards and play back to Caicedo or wherever, because he hasn't got anyone overlapping him to give him the space to be able to run into. So I agree he should be doing better with the ball, one-on-ones, and he should be beating people, because there's been so many times where I'm like, no, you should be beating him there. Madueke, you should be beating your man there one-on-one. You're direct, you're quick, you're a dribbler, you should be doing that. But I do think in the way that we set up system-wise that we could help them a bit more if we actually had natural fullbacks overlapping and creating the space for him so that they can.
He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that when he inverts one of them. He's not going to do that.
No, but that's true. But to be quite honest with you, I don't even think we need to be inverting.
I understand it. But what I'm saying is like, until he changes his decision.
Why are we inverting Gusto, Andrew? Why is Gusto playing in the middle of the midfield?
Listen, Jem. I'm just trying to give you the reason that.
No, I agree with you. But
he changed his decision to not invert, and like you said, like he's just not going to have it. I even think you don't even have to overlap him. It's like that West Ham game was like when he had Gu in presence in the box and just had Gusto on the right supporting more than James did for Neto. You just saw the difference there. We created more space for Neto. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. We're not even doing that now. We're not even getting them up near each other to actually support them, even just to pass back. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of space in between. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're not doing that. And I agree. That's why I think we need a system change, and you would get supported like wing backs. Do you know what I mean? You would get that. I just don't see him doing that either.
If you're wingers,
I think we've seen everything. I think we've seen everything.
No. If we're going to play with natural wingers, if that's our target, if we're going to go forward, and Maresca says, "Listen, boys, when we play out from the back and we get it into the middle, I want the balls pinging right and left. If it depends whoever's got the space, get it out to them. Cool, yeah. But if that's going to be how we want to play for 90 minutes." Then you've got to have people overlapping. I'm sorry. You can't be giving the ball out there and expect them to take on their players every single time, 1-on-1, 2-on-1. Doesn't work.
I'm just saying that we've seen that too, though. We've seen 2v1 out wide with Cucurella and Sancho.
We literally saw it in this game, Couch. Remember in the second half?
I'm just saying, like it happens often. Like it's just not very effective. Let's just be real. Like it's just not very effective. But we have seen 2v1 out wide more than a few times.
We've seen it with
we just don't see it. Just like this team and this manager, it's not consistent. That's what it is.
2v1 is when we're playing a low block and we're there and we're trying to do it then. When we should be doing it is when you've got teams playing a high line, like Brighton have been doing, and you have the overlapping to run into the space. It creates more space. That's the whole point. Not when you've got low blocks at home. And
I think that's where we discussed it in the group chat, and we were asked someone. I think it might be even Couch who said, "Who's more important, like Reece James or Lavia?" And I think Lavia comes into that because when he played, remember when he played Caicedo at right back and Lavia in the middle, it allowed Enzo to push up and support Sancho on that left-hand side more and free up Sancho and stuff like that.
Bro,
we're not doing it. But then that goes back to the manager. Okay, you've got the injuries now. How do you rectify this? Because you can't play the same way. Because now we're not. Before in this run, we were creating chances because you could go, shit, we're not finishing. But we're not even doing that now. We're not even creating chances in the last few games. You know what I mean? Exactly. So we're not even doing. You can't even bring it up and go, it didn't finish like that, like against Ipswich, against Palace, and where we dropped points and stuff like that. But now we're just not doing anything. I mean, Friday was worse than the FA Cup game. It was worse. It was worse than performance in that game, and we did nothing. Nothing.
Do you know what it is though? Do you know what it is though, Andrew? Yeah.
Were goals. Do
you know what it is though, Andrew? Yeah. What Maresca did. Big up, Jem. Big up, Jem, for hopping on.
Yeah, guys.
But yeah, you know what it is, yeah, like Maresca the other day, yeah, bro. It's like AJ for Jem. Yeah, AJ's here for the sub, yeah. But bro, man actually put his hand on the fire.
We got a better depth player than Chelsea, bro. It's mad.
Maresca put his hand on the fire 2 weeks ago and was getting burned, and he didn't like that he was getting burned. He went to the hospital. He said the hospital told him, "Don't do that again." He's like, "Yeah, don't worry, I won't do it again." The following week, they turned up that same fireplace. He put his hand there again, and he got burned again, bro. Yeah, I saw no difference. The only time really it was in the second half. I saw Cucurella overlapping a few times, and we actually got a few crosses in. We looked a little bit, better, slyly.
But Don, that's it as well. Why are we crossing it in? To who? Cucurella's not even in the box anymore to do these headers. Do you know what I mean? Who are we crossing it in?
No, what I'm saying is he was cutting it back when he was getting the overlaps.
But what I mean is, when we crossed it in, it was Jackson and Cucurella, but it was mostly Cucurella. Amazingly, I don't know how he was getting on headers or causing chaos in there. But we're now crossing it in, and no one's in there. No one's in there to cross it to. Why? Or if you're going to cross it, why are they high crosses? Why are they not low crosses to begin with? Do you know what I mean? That should be the thing, and that's obviously a tactic coming from the coach, right? Because it continues and it continues since the Brentford game. We probably crossed it more times in those few games than we did in the rest of the season combined. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't make sense. It's like I just don't. I got it with Cucurella and I got it with Gui and I got it with Jackson. But when two of those aren't there and even Cucurella's not in the box, who's there?
Yeah.
Even our defenders aren't that great at heading, offensively.
They cross blindly. They cross blindly. Yes. It's honestly painful watching this team because, for example, Arsenal the other day. I fucking hate Arsenal, but they were shit. I was even in fucking Paris watching these guys. As I was out and about. I'm seeing the whole game they were playing shit without a striker. Sterling was stinking out the place, absolutely stinking. That's another problem that we've got in the summer, by the way. I don't know where the fuck we're gonna send this guy. We better pray, right, that he takes a wage cut to go to a Fulham, to a Palace, and all of these sort of teams.
Even Saudi gotta come in, bro.
I don't know who's gonna come for this guy. Saudi, he's comfortable in London, earning over 300k a week. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna go Saudi right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's the problem that we've got. But what they did was they brought in Marino. Arteta brought in Marino and he played him up top, And what Ethan did was started to whip it into him now because at least you've got a box presence who's quite tall, And they crossed it back to him. He scored a second goal as well, right? Again, they had someone that they could do that for. Even with us, I'm seeing us doing these things to guys where it just doesn't really work, Man's seen Cucurella score 2 headers now, and he thinks he can do that every single game, blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's getting open though because he's coming. I don't mind Cucurella, if a Cucurella's attacking the ball because they don't track him very well. He's got open headers a couple times, right? So it's a decent tactic that way, right? Yeah, because they're more focused on whoever's in the box. He comes late, gets on the end of it. But as a tactic going forward, this just can't work, right? Let's just be real. We're one of the poorer aerial threats in the league right now. I think you mentioned it, Andrew. We don't have, even our defenders aren't very good in the air, right?
That's why
in comparison to teams.
Every time we get a corner, I just don't expect anything for 2 reasons. One, because we never fucking clear the first man to begin with in any of these fucking corners, and second, it's who's up? Who's who? I mean, who's gonna do it? No, not Colwell, not Gallagher. Tossing maybe on occasions, but I wouldn't like. I'm not 100% in it. No Reece James, no Cook. You know, we don't have no striker, no midfielder. Our midfielders are Oompa Loompas. So you know, I mean, they're not going to jump up and hit it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like none of our wingers have got headed in the ball. So it's like I don't see the point. It's like that's why I said if you're going to cross it, fine, but do the low crosses. You know what I mean? Do the low crosses.
Yeah.
Let me just say quickly before I go as well. Like again, I think this is my frustration with managers these days is that there's just no tactical flexibility. Everybody's on this whole process thing. I'm so like wedded to my ideas. I'm gonna be so stubborn. Like you see with Amarim at United, he's just dying because he only wants to play this certain way and he can't even really do anything to change the system much. Like, and I'm not saying he needs to change from a back three, but like add some sort of different tweaks to your system.
Right.
And the same with Maresca, we have the same 3-2-5 build up. And everything's the same. It's all okay. We're gonna do whatever we're doing, and then if it's not working, we spam crosses. And it's like, okay, now we've been found out. Now we're missing a striker. Now players aren't in their best form of the season. You have to change something. And this is where I don't want to see him now go. Okay, I have to go play a back five or whatever, or do something radical. There's a need to do that, but he needs to find something different. And that's why I've been so like defeatist about the rest of the season. I'm quite apathetic to it now because I expect us to struggle. I expect us probably not to finish in the top 5, which will get us Champions League football. I think we're going to finish maybe 6 at this rate because I don't see the manager changing it, and he hasn't got the luxury of having a striker fit for the rest of the season. So that's why I keep thinking it's going to be a long end to the season, boys. We're going to have to buckle up and just be ready to see the team take a few more slappings because I don't really see it getting much better unless Lavia suddenly stays fit for the rest of the season, and that might change things. But again, we're only like one Cucurella injury away from Colwell left back for the rest of the season. So like, that's how bad the squad is. It's horrible. So yeah, 100%. Man, it's not great. But I gotta jump off boys. But love, big up the panel, big up AJ. You haven't said to man them to liking it, so man them in the chat, like and subscribe still, man. But
yeah, man,
love boys, love.
100%. Like and subscribe, man. We've got another weirdo in the chat again from last week. You know what I'm saying? You're a big man, you know. You're a big man to be doing that, bro. But Mods, you know what to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? Let me just quickly change this right now. Yeah, this guy's a creep, bruv. You know what I'm saying? But even screenshotted me. You got a lot of time on your hand, big man. You know what I'm saying?
I love the
subscriber mode on or something like that. Done.
No, it's on, bro. Okay. It's on. But yeah, Mods, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
At least like the
but
video,
yeah, AJ.
Scrub.
AJ, what you saying anyway, bro, man? How you feeling right now, man? Obviously, I know you were busy with work and whatnot, but how you feeling, bro?
Yo, I'm good, man. Big up. You know, I listened to the conversation you guys had. It was a good. Everybody brought up great points. You know, we've been talking about the same shit for weeks now, bro. And I wanted to respond to Ads just now. He was saying that he doesn't see it changing. To me, like, I feel like there's no choice but to change anymore. If we keep doing the same thing, you know, that's insanity. You know, that's considered insanity when you just keep doing the same thing. It doesn't work. We have how much evidence that the shit does not work. You have to do something different. And the Arsenal point is a great point because, you know, Arteta's hand was forced. He had to find an option and a solution within the squad. And he put the midfielder up front, and look at him, he bagged 2 goals. Now, it's not to say that that's going to work every week, but that's what it gets down to. To be a manager at the top level, you got to get creative like that and take risk like that. So, you know, I'm on a thing now. I'm done complaining now. I'm just watching to see if this guy fucking changes something, you know. Otherwise, he's insane.
What do you want to see changed, though? What do you want to see changed? Given what we have right now in the squad. AJ, you there? It's just like,
I don't know. Is it my connection?
I think so, mate. Yeah.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, but you're well delayed.
You guys
I was just saying this. Yeah. You're a little delayed, though.
Yeah, your connection's moving crazy, bro.
Like, I have a couple things I wanted to just touch on before I sign off. Just firstly, I think, number one, I think Chelsea's better in transition. Like, we're better playing in the transition, playing like a little bit more counter-attacking football than we are possession-based. Even at our more optimal, you know, with all the numbers, I just think we're better that way, playing with a deeper line and getting them on the counter first and foremost. I also think that where we struggled the most the last couple games is in transition. I just think we're moving the ball so slowly. Like when you have somebody running down the channel, like they're always taking 3, 4, 5 more touches than they need to switch the ball, to get somebody into space. And then by the time we actually set up, you know, the defense is already back in its shape. Like Brighton was a perfect example of that. Every time we broke on them, took so long to get into the positions where we could really impact it. And by then they had like 8, 9 guys in the box, and then it's just locked off again. But as I was saying earlier, I still think that we're not catering to the strengths of this team. And the strengths in this team for me are through the middle. We have to get our central midfielders on the ball a little bit more to dictate the play, and rely less on what we're doing, you know, out on the flanks. That's just the truth of it, right? We're not playing well enough on the flanks to continually go down the channels, go down the flanks, and expect to impact the game. You know, we need some more central build-up play where, you know, we get our more intelligent ball players or attackers on the ball, and it's just not happening enough right now.
100%, 100%, man. I don't know where AJ's gone, people, but listen, we'll wrap it up there, man. We've got 164 people still in the house. Right now, it's depressing times, man. I can't even lie to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, start of the season, we were all optimistic. I think, you know, right now it's problems because once again, we've got injuries to key players. And that's why I keep saying to these, man, that Lavia, Fofana, as much as I love these guys, they need to be afterthoughts now. We need to be thinking about replacing these guys and hoping that they fight their way back into the starting 11. Because when they're there, it's brilliant. They help us. But when they're not, we really suffer, bro. We really suffer, bro.
Also, if we go to a back three, I don't want Reece James at right wing back. He can play right centre back or something like that. I'll just put that out there right now. I do that because his hamstrings aren't. I thought he got. Who did he get outpaced by? Who was it? The West Ham he got absolutely blitzed by.
It was Sola. Was it? Is that his name?
Sola, yeah, he got destroyed by Sola, and then and also side note, Milan around and Chelsea into Milan and Milan around the Champions League. Yeah,
let's go. We're playing right now, so you've got Celtic Bayern Munich, isn't it?
Yeah, Bayern Munich Celtic about to.
Is that only game tonight?
Yeah. Well, remember, there's only like 8. There's only 8 teams in this playoff thing, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, it's different now, man. It's different.
Yeah,
you know we got Chelsea Rogers says Mudryk has missed 2, offers a different dimension than Sancho. He is, man.
he's from a different dimension. Just leave it like that and just move on, man. That's it.
But listen, make sure that you lot are following Couch and obviously subscribing to Couch on his channel as well. It's in the description, people. Andrew, as always, is in the description as well. Jem's not on YouTube right now. I don't know what's going on with him, but yeah, he's quite busy.
Enjoying his life, man. That's what he's doing.
Dubai life is killing him. And then ads his Twitter's in here as well. AJ obviously joined quite late, but his TikTok will be in there, people. So make sure that you're joining. But listen, we have to beat Villa. I don't care how we do it right now. We have to beat these lot, bruv. In a bit, man. Love.